So I just watched the Injeda Part 1, and who would have thought in Beast Wars one of the coolest characters ended up being a Decepticon. Also known as the Ravage episode, and don't kid yourselves, that's what you called it for a while at least. The transwarp wave has reached Cybertron. The Maximals and Predacons are both aware that this is the timing for its arrival, and both are taking desperate measures, as are the Tripedicus Council, who has sent an agent to handle it their own way. Whew. Keep in mind, we got 3 episodes to go through here. I apologize, I'm posting them all on the same day, and I'm omitting my usual daily video because, hey, this is a lot to go through, and 4 videos is a little bit much for one day, but let's see if we can't get away with all 3. So we start with the Cybertron celebration party, as it were. There's dancing. There's like little tube blowy thingies. I don't know the name of party favors. Everyone is thrilled of going to Cybertron, except for Silverbolt, who doesn't know about the place, which also kind of strikes my. It kind of messes with the rules of the protoforms, doesn't it? I still don't know, between Rampage remembering his time pre-protoform, Silverbolt not remembering his time, it's weird. It's the rules of protoforms are still very, very muddy. The fun part about the scene is Rat Trap is an alcoholic pervert. He knows the dive bars with the really hard drinks. He knows where the topless restaurants and bars are on Cybertron, and he's eager to corrupt the noble Silverbolt. And Cheetor wants to go to amusement parks, so Cheetor is still something of a child. Well, remember that he was a kid when he left Cybertron, of sorts. So, of course, that's still what he remembers and what he's fond of, so we'll give it to him. Rat Trap also gets in a dirty joke, which is a very sneaky way of putting a dirty joke into a PG cartoon. So, good on you, Rat Trap. If anyone was going to do it, it'd be you. I am not shocked here. We get an interesting note to start the Predacon side of this. It is Inferno reporting that the tribes from Code of Hero, the ones in the valley, had scattered and are in hiding. They are currently impossible for the Predacons to find, meaning Megatron has been searching for them to actually see if his plan could be carried out after all. It's an interesting thing because we don't normally see cartoon villains trying to continue plans that ultimately failed. It is true that they would still be a target, and his agenda could still go forward if he could eliminate them, but without being able to find them, he starts taking more desperate actions. And even now, throughout this 3-parter, Megatron is going to be in control the entire time. He is going to be very aware of how everything is going to play out, all the players involved. And it's something of a masterstroke, and we'll talk about it as it unfolds. This episode's also the first intimate meeting between Black Arachnia and Silverbolt. It is also implied to not be the first time they have done this, as Rat Trap is implied to know what's going on. Later on, we'll find out Primal probably knows, but is giving it a pass because it hasn't interfered with anything yet. That will change. But seeing Silverbolt willing to steal for Black Arachnia is kind of weird. Squeaky clean Silverbolt is robbing the Maximals for the parts she needs for something. And yeah, this is an intimate encounter. And we don't know exactly like how far this extends. Clearly feelings have developed, but we still don't know if Black Arachnia is just using him or not because she's scumming him for spare parts. It's kind of a mystery here, and it's best that way. There's some ambiguity to it that makes it interesting to watch. Let's see. So, the Tripedicus Council is first shown off. We've heard it mentioned in the past. Now we actually get to see it. And let's put this to bed once and for all. Before the red lights come on, they are completely gray models. And then when the lights come on, that's when they turn red. The Tripedicus Council is not supposed to be red. Do you hear me, BotCon? So annoying. That was done as an actual animation choice because the models were only half complete. They're on a budget after all. So they wanted to keep it dimly lit. That's why the whole place was like in power, and everything's disabled on the Predacon station. The lights above weren't casting the shadows correctly in order to illuminate their faces, so they had to have a light coming from below. So someone came up with the idea of them hitting that red button to sign in, and the red showed off the detail they wanted better than just the bright white. That's how the red came about. Let's stop coloring them red, please. So we get a little bit of knowledge about how the political balance on Cybertron works. The Predacons are subservient to the Maximals. Their leadership is clearly not happy about it, but they're biding their time and waiting for the right moment. Megatron in this series was not willing to wait, which is why he has caused so many problems for Predacon and Maximal alike. This is what cues in Ravage flying in. During a battle that Megatron is apparently throwing everything he has at the Maximal ship to apparently try and win the Beast Wars before Cybertron shows up. Because at that point, his only chance of victory is to not be like horrendously outnumbered. It's broken up by Ravage in the stealth ship, and it's just the way this is handled it's just so freaking cool. Aside from just like the stealth ship attacking the Predacons, just this super sleek, vicious looking ship, really cool design. Seeing the hatch on top open and everyone inside being super tense and on edge. Primal picking up very quickly on what's happening and describing, the backstory for Ravage very quickly. The guns being shot out of everyone's hands by the laser pointers. Everything sets up this incredibly cool reveal for this covert agent. And it's such a shock to the system because, of course, Ravage is a legacy character, but this might as well be a completely new character. He speaks, he's a biped, obviously he's not going to transform into a cassette, or so we thought. As it was just a really cool throwback and a really cool evolution for a character that really wasn't much of a character in G1, let's be honest here. When Primal described some Decepticons gaining amnesty, it makes sense for Ravage, who was one of Soundwave's minions. You could easily make a case for, he was just, he was following orders even more so than any other Decepticon was. So that actually makes sense. And yes, he's just a super cool character. That slight Russian accent that he's got going on, just everything about him is just like serious, all business, just super, super cool. And seeing him teaming up with the Maximals, not really expected, but it works in this situation. And the battle that he leads them into, super good battle, really fun battle to watch. And one of the best parts about this was watching Tarantulas roll out on cue, and just watching part one, you have no idea why of all times does Tarantula skittered out of his hold, and why does it seem like he's following the ship? You don't know. It's a great bit of intrigue to throw into this entire situation. There's another plot going on here, in the irony of ironies, Black Arachnia is also building her own ship out of a stasis pod, just as the spider before her was in the last season finale. This one, however, is just a transport. It's what she needed the parts from Silverbolt for. Silverbolt, who refused to fire on her in the midst of the battle. And when Black Arachnia winks at him in the process, it kind of gives you the idea that maybe she is only in this for her own personal advantage. So this is an interesting setup for later. Also, poor Cheetor. There's a couple slapstick moments, very brief ones, in the episodes ahead, but throughout what is going to be some very intense episodes, he provides the last bit of levity, really, that we're going to get for a while. The cliffhanger in the episode is actually really interesting because it could really be just like the end of the series. Megatron is thrown in binds, his forces are defeated, he is officially arrested by Ravage, and that's how we end the episode. And it's such a contrast from the previous two-parters. Like, it really just could be the end of the season, of the series. But it's not. We have a to be continued. And how do you continue from that? We're going to find out. This is, again, a three-parter. We're going to hold off on a score until we get all three talked about. But this sets up so much for what is going to lead to an absolutely epic season finale. So stay tuned. If all goes well, these will be up throughout the day. You'll be able to see them all on the same day. And yeah, thank you for watching. Stick around. Part 2 coming up. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.